I power walk down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them.
Freaking meatwad in that workout outfit. I love it. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome to another Thursday, which means another Power Up podcast episode coming at you. Hope you guys are all doing well. Down here in Texas, we have like ridiculous weather, like for Texas, that is, like below freezing weather. It's insane. I thought I left this. I thought I left that back up in Illinois, but apparently not. But yes, welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a show that tries to keep itself up to date in terms of pop culture. We take a look at what catches my eye in the news, whether that be in video games, anime, manga, what have you. Just to keep ourselves in the loop. Just another person giving his thoughts on the whole situation. Hopefully with the goal that people, that enjoy the show and hang out with me, that we can reminisce about the good old days in terms of like nostalgia, being entertained for entertainment's sake, because I think that that premise of what, video games and movies and all that is all about. And I think we're slowly getting back to that format. Mostly a lot of DEI stuff is starting to be taken away, but we can't, drop our guard per se, because for all we know, and I think some places are, they're just shifting it and calling it something else. So we got to be wary of that. But I do think a lot of the weeds are being removed, which is always good. And what better way to, help return things back to normal in the sense of just being entertained. Like, obviously it would be amazing to go back of how, things were done back in like your 90s, early 2000s, but that's not how time works as much as we would love it to be, but I think we're doing a good job so far. If you enjoy the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live, usually 8 p.m. Central Time, pretty much all day for the most part. Doing the show here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, game streaming, and then over the weekend, it can be a mixed bag. Mostly game streamings, like early afternoon, like around 2 p.m., and then the same 8 p.m. time, if I feel like it. But humble and blessed you guys take the time to hang out with me and help push and support the channel in terms of pushing the algorithm, is what I meant to say. But if you want to go beyond that, you can always check out memberships, locals, subscription tiers, and all that to support the channel that way. But again, just humbled and blessed that people take the time to hang out and listen to the ramblings of a madman, I guess one would say. But without delaying any further, let's hop into this, shall we? Not sure how long the show will go tonight. I found some stuff that caught my eye. Not a whole lot in terms like for me and what intrigues me, but hey, better something than nothing, I guess. Oh, I was gonna go to my gaming setup. Let's instead go like this. There you go. Check this out. Video Game Chronicle, one of the places I go to check out what happens for video game news and stuff. Apparently, Microsoft is claiming that it can use AI to revive classic Xbox games. And that would include, catalog games back from the day and bring it about to modern devices. Using AI, according to this subtitle here, that I kind of butchered in reading it, but whatever. So it says, Xbox is looking to utilize its just announced generative AI model for the preservation of classic video games, it says. And I think I have an article explaining that too, but I kind of rearranged my tabs in terms of like splitting stuff up. Maybe try to, put together certain articles that are like the same or same subject matter. But maybe that's one of them, but whatever. So on Wednesday, Microsoft's gaming division announced Muse, a generative AI model that says it can generate, quote, game visuals, controllers, actions, or both. So the company's main demonstration of Muse showed how it could generate video game visuals using training data from Ninja Theory's 2020 game Bleeding Edge. However, it also discussed how Muse can help preserve classic games in the future. Or you could just emulate it. Because going that route, one, it's open up for modding in terms of modders coming in, some, on their spare time making HD textures that look, that are up to today's standards. More importantly, people can either localize it or desensitize, not desensitize. I mean, you can, I guess one could get desensitized in enough time, I suppose. But desensorized is what I meant to say. I don't know if that's a word, but we're rolling with it. In terms of, preserving and sharing what the creators of said game or whatever game wanted to show to its consumers. That is why I like emulation. That is why I like I'm turning more PC, hybrid sort of gaming. What's up, Komanga? Over on YouTube says emulation rules. This is true. Emulation does rule. And a lot of the times it's way cheaper and cost efficient. Now, what you think about emulation in terms of like piracy and stuff like that, I don't give a shit. to be rather blunt about it, I know for me, I own many of the games that I have emulated. I would be lying to say that I haven't sailed the 7 seas, I guess. But I'm pretty sure everyone has at one point or another. So to me, that's a foolish statement in terms of people that are like, oh, sort of thing. And plus, everyone the game companies claiming they don't want you to go digital, but they really do. But then you don't really own the games. Is it really stealing then at that point? These questions. So today, countless classic games tied to aging hardware are no longer playable by most people, except emulation, for the most part. And emulation's getting really good, said gaming AI corporate VP Fatima Kardar. Thanks to this breakthrough, we are exploring the potential for Muse to take older back catalog games from our studios and optimize them for any device. $100 games, drool. I know, right? If I'm dropping money on that, it better be a game or a series that I really enjoy. We believe this could radically change how we preserve and experience classic games into the future and make them accessible to more players. To imagine that beloved games lost to time and hardware advancements could one day be played on any screen with Xbox is an exciting possibility for us. This is a statement, to me personally, that is so out of touch. Like they're like, wow, look, thanks to AI, like we have all these like opportunities and possibilities and stuff. It's like, dude, it's already there. It's called emulation, my friend. And the gaming companies hate it, especially PC ports, because people crack it. And that battle is absolutely retarded, I believe, in my opinion, because people are going to find a way. As what's his name, Malcolm from Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. I haven't watched Jurassic Park enough to quote it verbatim, but you get my point. So in a video published alongside the news, Microsoft's gaming boss Phil Spencer also expressed optimism for Muse's future benefit for preservation. You could imagine a world where, from gameplay data and video, a model can learn games and really make them portable to any platform run. I think that's really exciting, he said. We've talked about game preservations as an activity for us and these models and their ability to learn completely how a game plays without the necessity of the original engine running on the original hardware. I think opens up a ton of opportunities. If anything, again, like this to me sounds like, what you could do is just use AI to literally code an emulator, which a lot of people do to begin with. They backwards engineer the hardware and then write the code for it. I know that's very, very, a very, very, uh, probably ignorant statement to say of me, because I'm sure there's more goes into it. But a lot, I mean, you see a lot of these emulators are open code. That's what I'm getting at too. If anything, AI could just make it to where you could possibly make a code for an emulator like that much more accessible, like that way. But again, these people are like, oh, because of this, we can now preserve games and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, there was a wonderful website that actually preserved a lot of games. But a certain company who are very stingy with their IP finally got their wish and had it all taken down. Games that probably have literally been lost now, unless, some autistic person with way too much time on their hands dive into the depths of the deep internet to find it. And that site was Emu Paradise. Literally doing what Phil Spencer is claiming, like, oh, we can start doing this. Now, obviously, the difference is that, of course, there's a difference between, the actual people that have the intellectual property versus some rando. I get that. But, like, I hate this garbage. Like, the work has been done so much, and then these fools come into play and go, oh, wow, we could do this. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Have you just been not listening to the people that have been asking for this for a long time? And my answer would be yes, they do not listen, because a lot of them actually don't care about gaming or know the video game, sphere. So according to a leaked company memo, Xbox established a new team last year dedicated to game preservation and backwards compatibility for its future hardware. Might I add that GOG is already doing stuff like this. So just putting that out there. I'm slowly trying to shift over to GOG because I respect them more as opposed to Steam. Because GOG actually allows you to download the installers offline. And their, DRMA sort of stuff is, you actually own it and free. It's not built in like with a lot of what Steam does, to where you have to have Steam in order to play the game. Xbox President Sarah Bond wrote, "We have formed a new team dedicated to game preservation, important to all of us at Xbox and the industry itself. We're building on our strong history of delivering backwards compatibility to our players, and we remain committed to bringing forward the amazing library of Xbox games for future generations of players to enjoy." Wasn't Nintendo responsible for the site being nuked? Yeah, I thought I stated that. But yes, if I correct Komanga, if I did not state it when I was referring to Emu Paradise, it was Nintendo who brought that down. I mean, out of the companies going after people, who has gone after people the most that makes headlines? It's been Nintendo. Pal World, the one, the Switch emulators, Emu Paradise, it's always Nintendo that comes in hot with that stupid crap. But there you go. Xbox says they're looking forward to using AI to revive your classic Xbox games. Again, something that emulation has done. Speaking of Nintendo, what's funny is Stuttering Craig pointed out, for someone someone that he knew who went to the video game museum, which I think is run by Nintendo. Guess what they found when it came to playing the older games, when they had like things set up to play them? Guess what they found out? They were using emulation. And that's that's another thing about Nintendo too, is that sometimes the Nintendo ports of old games are somehow inferior. Like they don't get the coloring right and other stuff. When like emulation, like boom, it's the OG. And then some, because people can mod it or whatever, or hack it, ROM hacking. So I just thought that was interesting. That was pretty funny. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below when this live stream is over. So jumping on over to Niche Gamer, another place where I go to get my news. The Thing, which I actually heard is a pretty solid game. I remember seeing this back for PlayStation 2. The Thing Remastered is getting a physical release that has recently been announced. So Night Dive Studios has announced a physical release for The Thing Remastered on consoles in both standard and deluxe edition. Pretty cool. Curious to know of what they changed for it, like in terms of censorship or whatever, or what have you. The game Remastered is getting a physical release on both Switch and the PS5 June 25th, and pre-orders can be available at the Atari Store, participating retailers. Standard apparently is $29.99. That would be the standard physical edition. The deluxe edition, $50. Okay, not breaking the bank. Actually, like what, $10 less than an average game happening? Yes, phone, shut up. And that entails with the deluxe a physical copy of the game. I would hope so. A deluxe edition box. Okay. A steel bookcase. I feel like any deluxe version like comes with a steel bookcase or like a steel case. Like, to me, that's not special anymore. Like, remember when you got like, if you got the collector's edition of like the Gears of War series, that was pretty cool. And plus it fit the theme too, you know, but like steel bookcases, it's like, so what? A key art poster, a replica of Captain Blake's ID card, and so on patches. I also hate patches too. Patches are so lame to be included in like a deluxe edition. You know, part of me just wants it to go back to like your Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, you know, case and manual. Excuse me. A nice solid case, a nice colorful manual that's not just a slip-in, like an actual manual. And, you know, the game, of course. And then that's it. You're done. I'm satisfied because I actually own it. And of course, that's not to say like there's collector's editions out there that have good stuff with it. Like the ID card's pretty cool, but patches and a poster. So here's a rundown on the new remaster. Excuse me. Ugh. Plus the new gameplay. So it's a faithful restoration of the cult classic 2002 third-person survival horror shooter inspired by the 1982 film The Thing. Night Dive Studios has upgraded this horrifying classic for the modern era, though. Its proprietary KEX engine for play on current generation gaming devices up to 4K resolution at 120 FPS. There are improvements to character models, textures, animations have been handcrafted with the implementation of advanced 3D rendering for updated lighting and atmospheric effects. I think that was one thing I remember kind of being annoying, is like the lighting was terrible. We're not talking about just because it's a horror game, like, you know, the lighting is meant to, like, it's purposely meant to be that way to create a freaky ambiance. Like, we're talking like it's bad, you know. Like, boost up that gamma, that gamma. Dude. Excuse me, folks. Let me take a sip here. Dude, that draining mucus. Ugh, I hate it. So for a suspenseful and disgustingly detailed remaster that reanimates a thrilling game for modern audiences. So, a little background. In the frozen Arctic tundra, a mysterious shape-shifting alien has wiped out the crew of the U.S. Outpost Number 31 research facility. In The Thing Remastered, players step into the boots of Captain J.F. Blake, the leader of the United States Army Special Forces rescue team sent to investigate the blood-curdling events that transpire in the original film. Trapped in the elements and the risk of the infection by a horrific entity, Blake must keep his squad together to survive by gaining their trust and ensuring that their fear and paranoia don't get the best of them or himself. And then you get some key features right here that you can read about. Like, obviously, it's a continuation of the thing. You face off against the head spiders, human-like walkers, gigantic multi-tentacled level bosses. Command a squad of up to 4 NPCs, 11 levels. And then more breakdown right here, too. Well, they're claiming they're going to make it a faithful restoration. I hope that's the case. Or misplaced to hide. I guess you use fire to maybe show, like, kind of reveal who's been infected or something. Gain the trust of your squad members, minimize their fears. Ultimate alien terror, upgrade models, textures, animation, handcrafted. And okay, literally just repeating what was been set up there. And then your trophies and achievements. That actually looks pretty cool. Like, there's like some games that actually follow the movie that are actually like good games. For example, I streamed the Scarface, The World Is Not Enough, and that's a continuation of the movie if Tony would have survived that shotgun blast at the end of the film. And then I heard the Warriors video game is really good, that I want to play that as well. And then I've also heard about The Thing here as well. But there you guys go. If you're interested in that, maybe check that out. That's pretty cool. So I've got 2 articles here. Another one from Niche Gamer talking about apparently Pokemon Presents has been announced for next week. So upcoming video game projects, specifically Pokemon, including Legends ZA, is expected. So the stream, which will include information about upcoming video game projects as well as other news, will air on February 27th at 2 p.m. 6 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. ET. That 2 p.m. is UTC and GMT. Pokemon Company hasn't revealed any specific information about what is going to be shown at the event or how long it is planned to last. But with Pokemon Legends Z through A planned for release later this year, it's likely that the company will show off the first new footage of the game since it was first announced last February. Set for release on the original Switch console, it will be the second Pokemon Legend game following Arceus. And then Legends Z through A will see players, or if it's from Japan, it's probably Z. Excuse me. Pokemon Legends Z through A, or ZA. I don't know. We'll see players revisit the Kalos region in Lumiose City. It's currently unknown if the Switch 2 version of the game is planned, and the yearly Pokemon Presents streams also provides updates on various Pokemon spin-off games such as Pokemon United and Pokemon Go. Reason this caught my eye is I've been playing Pokemon Pocket, which is like a more condensed version of the card game, the TCG. And so I thought it was interesting. So this weekend, Pokemon fans from across the world will descend on London for the Pokemon European International Championships. The event, which will take place from London's Excel Center, is one of the final stops on the road to the Pokemon World Championships, this year emanating from Anaheim, California. Or Anaheim, California. So not a whole lot of information, but if you're into Pokemon, there you go. It's been announced. I'm going to assume that Niche Gamer kind of has like the same information. Oh, apparently they have they have a teaser video. We can watch that. Here, let's take a gander, shall we? Hello, Pikachu. Well, that says Thursday, February 27th. 6 a.m. Oh, I guess it says it up above. Never mind. Never mind. This is all it is just Pikachu walking back and forth. That's a dick move. I guess he runs. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah. All right. Well, Niche Gamer was even less of information than Video Game Chronicles version. Hopping over to Tech for Gamers here. I'm curious to see what this has to entail. It's apparently the Amazon Prime Gaming VP talks about how the company failed to dethrone Steam for over 15 years. So Steam remains the dominant PC gaming platform, unmatched by competitors like Epic Games, GOG, and the Xbox app. In a new LinkedIn post, a former Amazon Prime Gaming VP discusses the same battle. He reflects on Prime Gaming's fight to take over Steam as the leading gaming platform. According to him, the battle started way before his joining and lasted more than 15 years. PC gaming is unified under Steam, despite Valve not being a billion-dollar corporation like Amazon. Its success lies in understanding gamers' needs, unlike larger corporations that often impose their ideas. Me not owning the game is not understanding my gamer needs. Hate to say it, but that's the truth. Especially with Steam and their, you have to use a lot of the games, you have to use their system in order for the game to run because of the DRMA, DRMA, right? This digital protection, stupid shit. So in a post, which is up here, I'm assuming we're going to be reading it down here. That's why I skipped it. Or not. Let's go ahead and actually read. So Ethan states, as VP of Prime Gaming at Amazon, we failed multiple times to disrupt the gaming platform Steam. We were at least 250 times bigger, and we tried everything. But ultimately, Goliath lost. Here's why. Is it because the Lord is behind Steam? Of course, the Lord's not in terms of that. But if we're wanting to bring in a scriptural, what would be the term that I'm thinking of? Example, but I feel like there's a allegory. There we go. We want to use the scriptural allegory here. David won because the Lord was on his side, and he chucked that rock right into his face, specifically the forehead. Killed him twice, actually, if you read it. Hits Goliath in the head, says it kills him. Then David takes Goliath's sword and cuts his head off, killed him. The reason why he had to cut his head off, here's a little tidbit for you guys, is that Goliath was a Raphaim. And a Raphaim is a descendant. Hold on real quick. Oh, sorry. All right, I was checking to see if, I'm pretty sure I didn't lock the deadbolt, so my roommate should be able to get in. Anyway, Goliath was a Raphaim, and Raphaims were offsprings of the Nephilim, who were the offsprings of fallen angels having sex with the daughters of man, as stated in Genesis 4. Or Genesis 6, excuse me. Genesis 6, verse 4, I believe. And one of the Raphaim's powers, I guess you could say that they have, is that they could regenerate rather quickly. And the only way to stop the regeneration was to behead him. So that's why David cut his head off. So Bible doesn't really tell you that sort of thing, but once you do the digging and you understand like the wordings and stuff like that, and then you kind of branch out and look at the other cultures behind the day, you find that stuff, which is absolutely insane. But anyway, so there you go. There's some scriptural knowledge there for you. Of course, I encourage Acts 17:11. Go read about it yourself. Don't just take my word on it. But that is sort of stuff that I'm interested in, which I actually posted up a short kind of showcasing of like a new series I'm working on, Spirit Power Unleashed, currently titled that way, where I like to combine pop culture and like scripture together. Kind of, if you're ever kind of curious about a lot of the mythical origins that you can see in video games and stuff like that, or even straight up scriptural references, trying to show that to you guys. Posted up a little short there. As I expected, got some response or some feedback, some ups and downs and stuff, but to be expected. That's fascinating and bizarre at the same time. Yeah. Yep. There's a reason why Christ says, as we go towards the end times, it's going to be like that of the days of Noah, if not worse, because that's what was happening. That was the other thing too. A lot of people don't realize that God didn't just flood the world just because people were violent. It was beyond violent. Angels bastardized the human race by having sex with people and creating hybrids. That includes homosexuality. That includes bestiality, where chimeras were created. That's actually happened in terms of like animal DNA corruption. That's why God commanded Noah to take pure, unaltered versions of animals. That's why it also said Noah was blameless. Blameless during his times. That means his generation wasn't corrupted. So you had that, blood consumption, cannibalism. Like, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, and just by that, I obviously reject the Seth Cainite theory, when it was like, oh, really? That he flooded, people from the Seth lineage commingled with. No. Because it mentions that the sons of God saw that the women, the daughters of men were fair and took for themselves wives. Sons of God is the term used in the Old Testament, always referring to angels. And you find that in Job. So yeah, got to look at the wording. Anyway, kind of sidetracked off there. Back to video games. So the 15-plus year-long attempt to challenge Steam started before I was VP of Prime Gaming, but we never cracked the code, not under my leadership or anything else. The first way we tried to enter the online game store market was through acquisition. Of course, just buy the competition out. We acquired Reflexive Entertainment, a small PC game store, and tried to scale it. It went nowhere. Then after buying Twitch, we created our own PC game stores. Our assumption was the gamers would naturally buy from us because they were already using Twitch. Wrong, dude. What are you, retarded? The way you treat people, the way Twitch treats people, are you kidding me? And then finally, we built Luna, a game streaming service that lets people play without a high-end PC. Around the same time, Google tried the same thing with their product, Stadia. Neither gained significant traction. The whole time, Steam dominated, despite being a relatively small company compared to Amazon and Google. The mistake was that we underestimated what made consumers use Steam. It was a store, a social network, a library, a trophy case, all in one, and it worked well. Which is interesting because you literally said this. Wait, what? Did he now just figure that out? Like, this last comment right here was like, this is the reason why Steam succeeds. And it's like, okay, well then just take that and try to do the same thing. But then up here, you're like, oh, if we just buy stuff and then do that, like, it'll be good, right? I'm sure there's more to it. I'm just being facetious. Hello. So in the post, he discussed multiple ways. So we literally just read like what he stated. Amazon's last attempt. Yep. So Ethan notes that corporation missed what made Steam unique: social network, story. Well, I'm hoping it's a good, video game story. Traffic. Oh my gosh, a trophy case package, and then Steam prioritizes its users with features like community pages, chat rooms, and social profiles, setting it apart. Maybe. I mean, tons of other things do that, but sure, I guess. If anything, Steam isn't going anywhere, and no new corporation won't dare to compete with the store after these colossal failed attempts. Well, I mean, again, they mentioned up above, like GOG and stuff like that. That's where I'm trying to go to, because, again, it's nice when you can actually download the installers for offline purposes and not needing, the client itself to play the games. Like, let me see. What was it? I got Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. I remember playing that game. I bought that game on GOG and download the installers offline. It just uses DOSBox. There you go. Do you think any other game will dethrone Steam? Any other game will dethrone Steam you mean game service? I honestly think if GOG can kind of obviously start growing and really push their preservation thing where you can actually own stuff, then yeah, I think GOG can kind of get good. That's my thoughts, though. So we read earlier that Microsoft was all like, "Oh, we can use AI to help preserve games and, allow people to play our backlog of stuff." So again, from Video Game Chronicles, Xbox has built an AI model that can generate video game visuals and actions. And the new model was partly trained on 2022's Bleeding Edge. So the generative AI model, which Microsoft has named Muse, was developed by Microsoft's game intelligence team in collaboration with Ninja Theory. It will be made open source to help other researchers explore these models and build on their work, Microsoft said. I mean, that's cool. It's open source. Again. Uh-oh. Are we still live? Because my Rumble Studio froze. Let me check. Oh, now it's not. Now it's moving. Unless I was just frozen in that spot forever. Anyway. Kind of got distracted from my train of thought. But I remember what it is. And my point is, again, this is kind of like how emulators kind of get built. The coding is open source. People reverse engineer the hardware and all that stuff. So again, Microsoft is acting like they're doing some like incredible thing. But like people have been doing this for so long. And it's literally emulation. And this is the thing that these companies don't want to admit is that, all this stuff that they're trying to be like, hey, because it's all about the money. It's all about the green stuff because they want you to buy stuff. But really, now they're bleeding into like the emulation side of it. And are like, well, because we're doing it, it's official. Wink, wink, huh? And it's like, well, yeah, but you're still not listening to the gamers in terms of like, we don't want DEI in the game. Like, go ahead and make a DEI game. And look how well those sell. Dustborn. All that crap. It's like the same thing with, in a weird way, to me, it kind of makes me think about like with Dragon Ball Daima and Dragon Ball GT, because a lot of elements from GT are being put into Daima. And now there's like this weird like back and forth to where people are praising it like, oh, that's amazing. And it's like, okay, well then acknowledge that GT wasn't as bad as what you claimed it was. And I was on the GT hate wagon too. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that. I was on the GT hate wagon. But, literally stuff developed in GT, Toriyama finally said, yeah, I'm going to use that. Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3. Then now there's Super Saiyan 4 in there. I haven't watched Daima. I only watched like episode 1, so I'm really far behind. Honestly, I'm, once kind of for me, the hype of Dragon Ball Super kind of not living up to the expectations I kind of wish it would have kind of died down. I stopped really caring anymore. But again, that's another rabbit. That's another rabbit hole we're going down in terms of like being derailed on topic. So on Wednesday, Microsoft published several videos showing what gameplay sequence generated by Muse could look like. The company said these examples were generated by prompting the model with 10 initial frames, 1 second, of human gameplay and the controller actions of the whole play sequence. Footage was trained using Ninja Theory's 2020 hero shooter, Bleeding Edge. In our research, we focus on exploring the capabilities that models like Muse need to effectively support human creatives, reads a post on the Microsoft website from Katja Hoffman, the senior principal research manager and lead of the Microsoft Research Game Intelligence team. There you go. I'm incredibly proud of our team and the milestones we have achieved, not only by showing the rich structure of the game world that a model like Muse can learn, as you see in the video demo below, but also, and even more importantly, by demonstrating how to develop research insights to support creative uses of generative AI models. Using 1 second of real gameplay, the model generated basic movement, geometry, and recognizable character models, as in-depth reports on the new models available on Nature. Generative AI has been a hot topic in the gaming industry in recent years, with concerns about generative AI leading to job losses and potential plagiarism. So the job losses, to me, if it's the DEI people, good. If it's people that like literally are good talent and stuff, then that sucks. But I'm truly of the believer that the people who are losing their jobs are people who probably shouldn't have been in the industry to begin with. Let's be honest here. And I'm getting to the point where really again, my thoughts on like the whole Assassin's Creed Shadows Ubisoft sort of situation. A company just needs to crash and burn to hopefully send out a ripple effect to other studios to finally wake up and stop being a bunch of beta bitches and just make good games. That's me. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, look, like obviously anybody who loses a job, like it's awful, but everyone has experienced it in one way, shape, or form. Everybody has. And if you've been on your first job forever, like hats to you, but you've probably still experienced like, you know, cutbacks or what have you. You know, literally losing a job is like something that happens every day in life to many, many people. So, you know, one can only weep for someone for so much, for so long until you need to move on because it's like affecting your time. And this is where all these like DEI, you know, tourist assholes like don't get any real sympathy in terms of for me because they act like they do, but they don't care. They're vile and disgusting, you know. So Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick recently said that not only does he think AI won't lead to job losses, oh, well, here you go, right here. He believes it could lead to increased employment. Yeah, because let's be real. Like, this isn't fucking Skynet that, like, someone accidentally put in a program and then all of a sudden it just became self-aware and then, like, dude, it's like, learn from Dr. Frankenstein and put an off switch on that on that sucker, on that monster. Pretty sure that's the case too. He also said he couldn't think of any new guardrails that might be required to protect developers. I have to agree with this with Take-Two Interactive guy. Like, I actually do agree. Again, the people who are freaking out about like job losses and all that stuff are tourists, you know, DEI hires, weeds, or just ignorant assholes that don't need to be there to begin with. So, jumping over to Bounding into Comics, this caught my eye. Apparent rumor. Let's see, that was February 18th. Oh, wait a minute. I think I actually read about this. And this was that the Switch 2 is cheaper than the PS5 and Xbox, and third-party titles list grows. I think I actually remember reading about this. I'm not sure if it's the same article, but I do remember it. But we're here anyway, so let's find out. And this is kind of old, February 18th, but it caught my eye. So it revealed the Switch 2 did little to stop the leaks and speculation that would be Nintendo. Instead, it has only fueled more speculation, including those on its price and potential launch. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock is rounded, as you can see. So the latest price leak comes from an Italian retailer, gamesandmovie.it. According to its Nintendo Switch 2 page, the console itself is listed for pre-order at $364.99. Well, that's Italian. What do Italians use in terms of currency? They don't use pounds, do they? I don't know. There's my limitations of understanding foreign currency. The set price, when converted to US dollars, is roughly $380. However, the retailer's listing mentions that this price is at a discounted pre-order offer, meaning it may not reflect the actual launch price, and it is still possible that the launch price is set to $400. So when translated to English, the official page reads, "By pre-ordering it now, you can guarantee the discounted price." Previous reports have suggested that the Switch 2 price could be closer around $450 to $500, with the higher end price likely being part of a bundle that could include a new Mario Kart title. To that end, the first Switch was launched in the gaming world at $300. I think I got mine on Black Friday. Like one of the rare times I go and do a Black Friday thing, because I was like, I got the money. Could probably get a good deal for a Switch. What up, Ted Cruz? Zodiac Killer over on Rumble says they use pepperoni. Of course, I forgot. Pepperoni is like one of the best currencies out there. And it's edible and delicious. It's good for a keto diet, which I've been doing. While the Switch with an OLED screen was $439, the purported price from the Italian retailer seems rather viable and in line with the Nintendo strategy to price its consoles lower than the PS5 and Xbox XS series. However, all this should be taken with a grain of salt, as Nintendo has not confirmed anything on that end until it gives further details. Pretty much just speculation. As we close in on April 2nd, when it will be revealed, more info, that is, for the Nintendo Switch 2. Speaking about more information on Nintendo upcoming hybrid console, in addition to price, launch titles are also a speculative point these days. It's known for a fact that the new Mario Kart will be the Switch 2 launch title and perhaps will be bundled together, but what other titles can we expect? One of many leaks puts Doom, The Dark Ages, to Nintendo console, but according to a leaker, Nintendo doesn't want fans to know about it just yet. I've been told something that's going to make many Doom and Nintendo fans drop their jaws. What's up, Woodster? Over on YouTube. Doom The Dark Ages was not announced for the new Nintendo Switch 2, but not because the console can't handle the game. It's got enough power, but because Nintendo doesn't want us to see it yet. Bear in mind, this is roughly translated deep L from the Spanish language. Additional titles could include Metroid Prime 4, which has been at work or being worked on since 2017. 2007, that'd be insane. A new Pokemon game, ZA, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I need to play the original Final Fantasy VII. I enjoyed Remake. I didn't bother with Rebirth, but now that it's on PC and people are modding it, maybe. Master Chief Collection, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Assassin's Creed Shadow. Hard no for me on that one. No Man's Sky, meh. Red Dead Redemption 2. I like Red Dead Redemption 1. Microsoft Flight Simulator, and even Starfield, skipping that as well. Though these titles can only be wishful thinking by fans, considering the lack of Nintendo's consoles' raw power. No official words from the company. Nevertheless, we've seen some AAA heavyweights make their way to the first Switch, including Witcher 3, Doom Eternal, Nier Automata, and Skyrim, among many others. Goes without saying that these ports required compromises in visual and performance aspects. Hence why, in the end, just, play that PC, because you could build a good PC that could easily run it. But then, of course, PC gets shitted on because, again, we don't want to do a PC port because people will crack it or mod it. And it's like, dude, like, I guess you just don't want money. So by all means, just keep your fist up your ass, I guess. With the Switch 2 improvement in every segment, such as processing power and graphics, it's possible that we're getting the gist. Pretty much, it's possible that these games come out, but we don't know until they come. Until the April 2nd thing happens, where we get more information. Okay, so we are now on the article that kind of caught my eye the most, and that is kind of what I've been seeing people talking about on X here. And that is Amazon has gotten creative control of James Bond. And a lot of people are saying, like, well, James Bond is dead, which I tend to think so too. I think James Bond, with the whole Me Too movement and all that garbage, James Bond was like one of the primary targets in the crosshairs of that garbage, because he is like everything that they're against. So Amazon wrestles control of James Bond away from the Broccoli. Is it really the Broccoli family? As Jeff Bezos asks Instagram who the next 007 should be. I will be sexist here and say that it should be a man. Say what you will about that, but I think the formula was working well all this time. Why change it? In a move that has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, Amazon MGM Studios has officially taken creative control over iconic James Bond franchise. No, I'm just kidding. But ripped James Bond. For decades, the world's most famous spy was carefully shepherded by longtime producers Barbara Broccoli, and I'm wondering if I'm really saying that right. But if so, if her name is literally Broccoli, that's amazing. Broccoli, maybe? Broccoli? And Michael G. Wilson. We'll just say Broccoli. We'll be nice, because I'm just going to keep saying broccoli. Broccoli. Now that the era has come to an end, as the franchise falls into the hands of Amazon, the same company that notoriously mishandled The Lord of the Rings with the controversial Ring of the Power series, the new joint venture gives Amazon MGM Studios the power to decide James Bond's future. Though Broccoli and Wilson will retain co-ownership of the intellectual property. Yet this shift marks a significant change. For the first time in the franchise's 60-year history, its creative direction is no longer under the ironclad control of the Broccoli family. Broccoli. And it didn't take long for Amazon's corporate machine to kick into gear. Mere hours after the deal was announced, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos posted on Instagram asking fans, "Who'd you pick as the next Bond?" A character who has been carefully cast and curated for decades is now subject to a social media popularity contest. If this is a sign of things to come, it doesn't bode well for the future of 007. Broccoli's warnings ignored. The news of Amazon's takeover has fans and insiders alike concerned. Broccoli, who has been fiercely protective of the franchise, was already wary of Amazon following its $8.5 billion acquisition of MGM Studios, or just MGM, I guess, in 2022. Her apprehensions weren't unfounded. Reports have long suggested friction between Broccoli and Amazon executives, particularly after one executive openly stated during a meeting, "I don't think James Bond is a hero." That comment alone reveals the kind of mindset now in charge of the beloved MI6 agent's future. Broccoli was reportedly livid over the remark, which highlighted a growing ideological divide. For her, Bond was more than just a film character. He was an icon representing a specific brand of storytelling, one steeped in tradition and cinematic excellence. But Amazon, under the leadership of Jennifer Salke, who oversaw the Rings of Power, seems poised to inject its own corporate-driven agenda into the franchise. What makes this development even more alarming is Amazon's well-known obsession with data-driven content creation. Broccoli, who also who always relied on gut instinct and a deep understanding of Bond's culture significance, is now being replaced by an algorithm-heavy approach where social media polls, and focus groups could decide the franchise's next step. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that because these social media polls are for sure not going to be biased. The fact that Jeff Bezos is crowdsourcing casting decisions already sets a troubling precedent. Bond has never been about mass market consensus. It was about carefully selecting the right actor who could embody the suave yet rugged spirit of Ian Fleming's creation. Petrelli famously took a risk by casting Daniel Craig, an unconventional choice at the time, which paid off massively. And can that algorithm pretty much replicate like that sort of thing? Can it make such a bold move? Highly unlikely. Yeah, huge X to doubt on that. Another significant concern is Amazon's tendency to push expanding universes and spin-offs. Bercelli has always rejected the idea of turning Bond into a sprawling franchise with countless side stories, focusing instead on delivering one careful crafted film at a time. But Amazon thrives on volume. There are already whispers of potential Bond spin-offs and origin stories, ideas that go against the tightly controlled narrative structure that has kept Bond unique among blockbuster franchises. We've seen what happens when studios try to overexpand iconic properties. Star Wars struggled under the weight of its bloated spin-off universe. Look what happened there. And The Lord of the Rings saw its reputation tarnished by the Rings of Power. Now James Bond potentially faces a similar fate. So Amazon's press release was filled with corporate platitudes. Mike Hopkins, head of Prime Video, Amazon MGM Studios, stating, "We are honored to continue this treasured heritage." You're not honored. You just see another cash cow, supposedly, and look forward to ushering in the next phase of the legendary 007 for audiences around the world. You don't care. But actions speak louder than words. So far, Amazon has given fans little reason to believe they understand what makes Bond special, because they don't. Even more unsettling is the uncertainty surrounding the next film. Despite rampant speculation about actors like Aaron Tyler Johnson, James Norton, and even Henry Cavill stepping up into the role, Amazon MGM Studios insider claims that no decision has been made about the next film's cast, director, or script. In the meantime, I don't even feel like they even have a script ready. We've seen how it is. We've seen how it is. They make it up as they go. Like the Acolyte, like, Rings of Power or whatever. In the meantime, Bezos' Instagram poll has done nothing but trivialize a casting process that should be handled with the utmost care. For longtime fans, this moment feels like the beginning of a new unsettling era from James Bond. I wouldn't call it a beginning. I would honestly call it the end. This is like the end. With Amazon now holding the reins and pushing for mass market appeal, it's hard not to worry that the MI6 agent we've come to know will be reshaped beyond recognition. The real question now is simple. Will the James Bond of the future be the iconic hero audience have loved for decades, or will he become another casualty of Hollywood's relentless pursuit of content over craftsmanship? Dude, probably going to be either a woman or trans who, have to come to terms with their inner turmoil of who they are as a person. Oh. Even though that's like literally James Bond's like coldness has been explained. Like Pierce Morgan, like as weird as it is, as I remember playing GoldenEye, like the video game first before seeing the movie. I actually really love GoldenEye 007, like the movie. Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan is absolutely amazing. Pretty much like personal battle between hero and villain. Pretty much same mindset. They both were trained, so they know each other's, movements and stuff. And I just liked Alex because he just wanted to, as Bond pointed out, just a bank robber, nothing more than a common thief, thief. Excuse me, I might have said thief, but thief. I liked his motives. He didn't hijack like some machine to rule the world or something like that. It was like, yeah, I hate England, so we're just gonna literally reset you back to the Stone Age. So like everything just gets deleted and you'll just literally be nothing. Like I like that concept. And then of course like him falling off that cradle. Pretty baller, if you ask me. Took it like a champ. I actually read the novel, and they actually explain how he kind of lived through that. He was barely holding on, and then he gets impaled by the end of the antenna. Oh, it hurts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, like about what you guys think. Like, is 007 like still alive, or is he pretty much dead? I think the franchise is like, I think this is like the kiss of death. Like, get ready to like slowly die. You better get ready to die. With that, let's hop over to gaming. Let's check out what games were released today and tomorrow on This Day in Gaming with GameFAQs. And then we also have Moby Gaming, which is more worldwide. Look at that right there. Contra. There, look at that. Starting off strong. Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers for the Game Boy Color. I actually played, or was that a Night Classic? No, I had Night of 1,000 Frights for the N64. Dude, Fight Night Round 3, great boxing game. Great boxing game. I don't know how. I remember getting Fight Night Round 4 and just being so depressed because it just, the charm of Fight Night Round 3 was just amazing. Komanga says Amazon will kill Bond. Yeah, probably. Crackdown. I remember that game kind of being a big thing, but I never got into it. Izuna, Legendary of the Unemployed Ninja. Okay. You got your Sonic and the Secret Rings. I mean, if you're an NBA fan, Street Home Court. Oh, The Order 1886. I remember everyone being so thrilled about this, and then it just sucked. Apparently. Metal Gear Survive. I mean, I don't count that as being part of Metal Gear. Persona 5 Strikers. I don't know about that. I've heard of Persona 5. I don't know about Strikers. Wait, Biohazard Siberia? Like Resident Evil? I don't know. And then these like new ones down here where, hey, if you're in need of your real Hentai 5, Switch got you covered. Well, the Bercelli family did it first before giving it to them. Yeah. I don't know. Say what you will. I just think for sure it's like, stamp of death, pretty much. All right, so that was games released today. For the next day, that would be the 21st. We've got the Goonies. Oh, dude, look at that. Legend of Zelda. Oh, my goodness. Classic. Oh, and you got your Star Fox. I never played Star Fox, and I need to. And I know, but in my defense, I did not grow up with a Super Nintendo. I did grow up with the Nintendo, but I never went out and got Legend of Zelda. I was too busy playing all the Mario games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that sort of stuff. Man, I wish I would have kept my copies. It's one of those things that my parents didn't know that you could possibly get your Nintendo fixed, so they just gave our games away. Clive Baker's Undying, Fear Effect 2, Sonic Riders, Super Monkey Ball, Touch and Roll. Nothing but having the word ball right next to touch and roll. I don't know. Kind of dangerous, but it's there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Double Pack, Marvel Trading Card Game. Oh, Asura's Wrath, great game. More like a movie, but great game. I should play that one again. I really enjoyed that game. Dynasty Warriors next. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Oh yeah, I saw this Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It's kind of like a joke game I saw. So there you go. And then taking it on a more massive scale in terms of all over the world, hop over to Moby Games. Then again, we got Contra, Esper Dream. Never heard of that. Apparently the Game Boy version of Rayman 3. Hoodlum Havoc was the GameCube name of it, of Rayman 3 for France and Spain. Again, Fight Night Round 3, great game. I will fight. Doot. Let's see. We're getting up to the 2016, and that's kind of when things taper off a little bit. Yeah, not really seeing anything that's catching my eye in terms of games that I know. Unless you want to play Death and Taxes, the Steam release of the Macintosh version worldwide. There you go. Yeah. Then we'll also check out February 21st. Ooh, HAL Laboratory Incorporated. That company was founded back in 1980, 45 years ago. Got your Game & Watch Gold helmet was released. Golf, the Japan course was released in Japan. There you go. Roland's Curse 2. Electro Man, released under the name Electro Body, the DOS version for Poland. Electro Man. Rage PLC. The company enters into agreement with Nokai to develop mobile gaming content. Oh, Titus Interactive. Look at that. The Ultimate Flash Sonic. The Newground release. The browser version. Oh, Newgrounds. Those were the days. SpongeBob SquarePants Lost in Time. The DVD player version. There you go. Rocksmith Blink 182 3-song pack, apparently. Asura's Wrath. Again, great game. I definitely recommend that if you haven't played it. Asura's Wrath. Yeah, I'm really not seeing anything else for me that's catching my fancy. But there you guys go. That was today's show. So really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give a like and subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live again, which would be tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll do some more gaming. Maybe even finish up Mario and Luigi Super. I don't know why I said Super. Brothership. I was going to say Superstar Saga, but Brothership is what I meant to say. But appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for supporting the channel in any way you can. Let's see. With that being said, we will sign off here. And I will say, let's see. Let me refresh Rumble here. Do a raid on Rumble. Alex Zedra's online. I like Alex. I'm trying to get her as a guest. That would be a fun guest. But send you guys over that way, over on Raid. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you then. God bless and peace.